multiple knowledge of languages is also very helpful. Now let us listen from Janab. Yes, Shamsuddin sir. More about it. Yes, Mal. Yes,
Assalamu
yes.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy to be here on this Saturday morning, uh, sharing few thoughts about knowing multiple languages. Language is a wonderful thing that Allah has given to us, and language is a wonderful thing that every human being has been gifted with. Every creation in this world has a language. Every creation, a way of communication, way of communicating. Right, starting from ants. Yeah, even ants communicate very best, and you can see the system of life that ants have. The bees have a way of communication, and you know how beautiful the bees work. The beehives are built, how scientific it is. Even every creation in this world has a way of communication, way of communicating with their similar, with their with their uh, with their creations, with other creations also. But now, among all these communication tools that Allah has given, the best, the wonderful one which is given to the human being is something called a language. Now we call it as a language. Language is a wonderful thing that's given to human being because we'll see why language is so wonderful, why so language is so important. Because we see even all, as I said, all creations do communicate. They all have a best communication in their arena, in their domain. They have a way of communicating. You know, even the blue whale, it has its own way of communicating with other blue whales in their society, in their domain. Like that. So how a language, the spoken language, the language which is spoken, which has a sound, which has words, this kind of a communicating system, which we call it as a language, is the topmost and the highest one. Even, communication exists in different ways. You know that there is a whistle called dog whistle. I don't know how many of you know it. It's called a dog whistle. There is a whistle. When you blow, only the dogs can hear it. We won't be able to hear it. Yeah, there's a whistle. We will blow it, but we cannot hear it. Only dogs will hear it. Dogs will respond to it. That's called a dog whistle. So, different ways of communication. And the sound plays an important role. Yeah. When we speak every language sounds different. Par exemple, si je parle en français, je commence avec la langue française. Je parle en français. Bonjour, bienvenue. Je suis heureux d'être ici parmi le samedi matin. Vraiment, par parler de la langue, l'importance d'une langue, l'importance de la langue. See, when we speak different languages, it sounds differently. When you hear to a foreign language, you feel something different. Oh, something is happening to you. So language has a got a innate system. That's a part of human being. It's a human nature, how it is. First, let us understand the concept of how the thinking works in us. How do we think? How human beings think? Just imagine, how do we think? Even now, when you're listening to me, when you're listening to this meeting, when you're here in this meeting, yeah, some of you may be traveling, some of you doing some work, yeah, and just parallelly listening to this audio also. So what happens? You have different thoughts going on. At the same time, some of you making a cup of tea, some of you getting ready to go to school, some of you making your children getting ready, or just listening, some of you sipping a cup of tea, and some of you parallelly doing something. You can't stop thinking. Even when you're listening very consciously, your unconscious mind, something it goes on. What would happen in the afternoon? What my plan? 9 o'clock, are you supposed to be there? 9 o'clock, somebody is supposed to come here. Some thoughts going on in your mind. What would be my lunch? How would I prepare it? Or how will I pack my lunch? I will have my lunch in school. Different kinds of. Do you see that the things are going on in your mind? You cannot stop it parallelly. It is going on. So, what happens when you think? What is the tool with which you think? Can anyone tell me in the chat? What tool? When you are thinking, which tool? What tool is helping you to think? In what way you are thinking? Can anyone respond? Or like how do you think? When you think, what happens? What is that method? What is the medium through which you are thinking? And through which we are thinking? What is the medium? Well, what is the medium with which we are watching? We are looking into this world. We see this world is the eyes. Through the eyes, we look into this. Brain. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay. Past experience. Fine. So it's the brain. Through the brain is the media. Very good. One and another as is past experience, which happens as the okay. See, what is the media which helps us to think? Is it not words? Is it not words? Are you not thinking in terms of words? If you're fluent in your mother tongue, is it not happening in your mother tongue? Is it not that if your mother tongue is Tamil, then you're thinking like, okay, what is it not happening in your words? Is it not happening in the way of words, languages? Yeah, whichever language you're fluent with. But the thing is, if you're fluent, multilingual, if you're fluent in two language, you will see you will be able to. We'll come to that topic later. So what happens when you think? Primarily, it's the language, right? It's the language. Am I right? Is it not the language which is helping us? It's simply in simple terms, it's the words. It's the words through which it's happening, the process. A lot of words. See, when you go, when somebody says that I have difficulty in speaking English, I want to learn English, I want to learn French, any language, when you want to talk, what you need to have words. Why do you need words? Why do you need words? Why do we need a lot of words? For example, now when I'm talking, now I get stuck. Suddenly I get stuck. Why do I get stuck? Why do I get stuck? Tell me now. When somebody is giving a speech, you suddenly get stuck. What is the reason? What happens? Is it fear or what happens? One thing that you don't know what to talk, perhaps you're not knowing about the topic. And other thing, most important thing, you are not having words. You may have a lot of things in your mind to communicate, but if you're not having enough number of words, you will not be able to communicate. Am I right? If you should have fluent lot of words, you know a lot of words, you have enough number of words to communicate. What is the best and wonderful 100% communication? 100% communication is whatever you are thinking, whatever you feel that you want to communicate to the other person, you are able to do it. Whatever is your thought, you are able to put it in words and pass it on to the next person in the form of words with sounds and complete words. Each and every word that you think, that your thought, completely place it in words and you are able to express in words. That's the language, right? So, who is not effective when you're not knowing a language, when you are learning a language in the beginning? What happens? You are looking for words. You may know a lot of things, a new language. You will experience this. Suppose you are learning French, for example, in the beginning. How to say, my name is Shamsuddin. Moi, bonjour, moi, je m'appelle Shamsuddin. Je viens de Chennai. Je suis un professeur de français. Et puis, we get stuck when you're learning a new language. Why? And you want to say that I'm a professor of French, I have studied here, I've done my PG here, I've done my research here, all these things in your mind, but in that particular language, since you do not know the words, what happens? You get stuck. You get stuck. Oh, because you're not knowing the words. Thoughts are there, but the words are missing. This I gave an example to understand how thinking, thought, and language is related. For example, in a child, how did every one of us learn our mother tongue? We never learn, for example, if your mother tongue, for example, if your mother tongue is English, an Englishman never ever learn, never ever teaches his children, newborn baby, A, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. He never teaches. We never teach our children, infant, like the languages. We never teach them alphabets. We never teach them grammar. But the child starts talking 1 year, 2.5 years. The child starts talking, and even that you will see. It's a wonder. Some babies, 2 years they start talking. 2.5 years they start talking. 3.5 years only some of them start talking. Why this gap? Some you will see even 1.5 year baby is able to speak, get words, pronounce them. You know what is the reason? You will see the baby which starts talking early, it has a complete good backup environment where it has a chance to listen to people, parents, grandparents, or a joint family, or some people who visit all the time the house, or the profession of the parents where they take the baby, where baby happens to listen to a lot of people, lot of conversations. If the baby keeps on listening to a lot of conversations, you will find at 2 years the baby starts talking. At 3 years, and the baby even sometimes 3.5 years, where there is a parent and the baby doesn't have a environment, doesn't have a chance to listen to a lot of things, then it takes a lot of time to talk. So listening gives the concept of words, listen, and the baby is able. So when you think through the medium of words. For example, imagine a world. Imagine you are going to communicate with your friend. Try to do it for half an hour, 1 hour in a colleague, in an activity session, or try to do it in a school. Try to make the students like communicate. Next 40 minutes in our class, we are going to communicate only with gestures. No words, only with gestures we are going to communicate. See how effective that would be. 40 minutes, what would happen? How gestures work? Gestures, you can vary minimum level of communication. Why? Gestures cannot transfer all your thoughts completely. Gestures, for example, so you want to say someone stand up, come here, sit down, right, listen, something, maybe the gestures, but complete transformation of your thinking will not be able to, will not get transferred. See, dumb people, deaf people, two deaf people communicating with each other, that's a totally a different domain. They are in a different platform. Their nature is different. They will be ambidextrous. They'll be given an extra talent by the creator. They will have it. People, blind people, they have completely extra talent than a person who's visibly, who can see with his eyes, and the person who cannot see with his eyes from birth. Their talent is different. Their level is different. They are created. Scientifically, you will understand. That's a different domain. But in a normal way, communicating with gestures, try to communicate. Just have a session in your classes only with uh, only with gestures that we are going to communicate. Students, we are going to communicate only with gestures. I'm going to have some PPTs, I'm going to play them, or I'm going to give you some words, and we will see that later. But if you are going to work with gestures, you will find very little amount of communication is on. So, first point, communicate language is very important for the very human existence, which is called thinking. Even for thinking, you should have lot of words. Great leaders, have a look at them. Many leaders, even starting from even the latest guy from Elon Musk or Bill Gates, or you take even good elite people, you see them, they often tell you that they read lot of books. They read a lot of books. They read a lot. They've read a lot. Even great leaders, yeah, Kofi Annan, anybody, even they have been in prison. They have written what they have been doing in letter in the prison. They have been reading and writing. Their works have become great ones when they are sitting and writing and thinking in a calm way. Yeah, they're writing, thinking. They are able to think and put their thoughts in the form of words. And we are able to read a lot. You are able to pick up one thing is a lot of vocabulary, another thing is a lot of concepts you understand. So thinking and language has got a huge connection. Thinking and language has got a huge connection. Can anyone tell me any other way in which you feel that thinking and language is connected or not? Or how? Yes. Do you accept with me like thinking and language are connected? Can you give me an example apart from what I said now? There are many examples. I will display them if I get another chance. Maybe this time I don't know whether I'll be to it. But can anyone tell me how do you feel how thinking and language is connected in your own experience? Have you gone across? Have you experienced? We do experience. Can you just put it up? How thinking and language is connected? It's very much interlinked. So, first and foremost, thinking and language is very much interlinked. Very much. Your thought and your language. That's what, when somebody says, hey, I want to learn English. Okay, learn English. But you have to speak English fluently, you have to think in English. You have to start thinking in that language. I want to speak French, il faut penser en français. Pour parler français très bien, il faut penser dans la langue française. You have to think in that language. See, there is an institute called Alliance Française where they teach French. You know how they teach French? It's a French window. It's run by the French government. How they teach French? They teach French through French language, right from zero level. Right from zero level, you may think, sir, how is it? Yeah, that's the technique. That's how. You go to British Council, you want to learn English, they will teach you English in what? In English. They'll start teaching English in English language. Yeah, in that the class, how it that's how the baby started learning. How as a child, as a baby, we started learning our mother tongue in our own mother tongue. That's what it happened. We started listening, observing, and it started happening. So the best way to learn a language is through that language. That's how. So think in that language. Thinking in that language makes you very fluent. You have to think. Okay. When you think in that language, what happens? There comes the wonderful, you will understand how beautifully a language completely influences your thinking process, your way of looking the world, your way of solving problems, how it is useful. For example, in English language, to say my name is my name is Samshuddin. How many ways in which I can say this? One way is my name is Samshuddin. Any other way? How many other ways? I am Samshuddin. Then any other way? How to say that my name is Samshuddin? My name is Samshuddin. I am Shamshuddin. Any other way to express it? Okay. In this, you will see there is a subject I, there's a verb called a be verb, am, then my name, I am Samshuddin. Okay. But when you come to French language, you know how does it work? My name is Samshuddin. My name is three words are there. Look in French, how do we say that? Moi, je m'appelle Shamsuddin. There is no be verb used in French word in French language. French be word is missing. Je m'appelle Shamsuddin. My name is Shamsuddin. But if you literally translate the word in French, appeler is a verb which means to call. S'appeler, a verb which means to call oneself. To call oneself. The subject and the object is the same. So in French, literally, if you translate the word je m'appelle to English language, it will be like, it is like I call myself Samshuddin. See how French people think about it. See the thinking process, how it works. I call myself Shamsuddin. This is how French works. We come to Arabic. What happens? Completely the be verb is missing. You just have the subject pronoun. Ana Shamsuddin. Finish. Ana Shamsuddin. Just two words. The be verb, any verb is missing. There's no verb place. It's a nominal sentence. Ana Shamsuddin. But in French, je m'appelle Shamsuddin. What is je m'appelle Shamsuddin? I call myself Shamsuddin. In English, I am Shamsuddin, or my name is Shamsuddin. So when I write Je m'appelle Shamsuddin in French language, I can translate this into English as my name is Shamsuddin, I am Shamsuddin. And when I say Anna Shamsuddin, I will translate it as I am Shamsuddin. Yeah. So what happens when you learn these languages? How does it affect our logic? How does it affect our brain? How the thinking changes. It does a great change in our brain. And when I say it's brain, it's the thinking. It has a wonderful change in thinking. That is why, one part of the brain is in charge of languages, completely that's in charge of languages. Yeah. And other side is, so one, imagine one complete part is dedicated for languages in the brain. So imagine how important the brain, the language is, and how close it is to the very human existence. Because language, that's so important. So when you start learning a different language apart from your mother tongue, first thing, you must be absolutely fluent in your mother. Absolutely fluent in your mother tongue. In today's world, the influence you see so much because of the AI world, you see the children, today's generation, they lack hugely, they lack communication. They lack concentration is totally missing. And their communication, even we also communicate now using these tools. Words are missing. Lots of words are missing. Now only emojis, signs, symbols are just enough. So words are totally missing. When words are missing, you will see the children, they are changing, their thinking has changed, their concentration has changed. You see the generation totally changed. In one point, we may say, they're very good using the technology and all that, but their real thinking, words, communication, the normal thinking process is missing. Nice communication is missing. How? Because they are lacking languages. Nowadays, we have children, even in colleges, we come across students, they are neither good in their mother tongue nor in the English language. For example, they are put in the English convent school. They never learned English fluently, also they don't they're not very successful in learning the English very fluently. And in the name of learning English, I don't have to speak in my mother tongue. They lose the hold on their mother tongue also. They are not knowing many words in their own mother tongue. They are not able to communicate properly in their mother tongue. And they are not able to communicate in the target language which they learn. So they are not knowing any of the languages very fluently. And their communication is totally hit. They are not very successful in communicating. They lack, and this reflects in lot of their outcomes. Their learning process, their understanding process, everything is stuck. Yeah. So language as an important thing. First, it has an immediate direct effect on our thinking. It's connected to our brain, and that thinking is makes everything different. And when you learn more than one language, as I said, one sentence. Yeah, if I have another session, maybe I will display my PPTs because it's just half an hour. I thought I will just give an introduction to the language to make one concept very clear. The language and thinking are absolutely interlinked. They are very much interlinked. Yeah. And what happens if you know a language? What happens if you know a lot of words? You will be able to communicate very fluently. Every word, every intricate feeling also you will pass on to the other person. Trivial things also you are able to pass on to the other person. Yeah. So language helps you very powerful. Knowing a language completely makes you absolutely powerful. That's why somebody who knows any language, I'm not just talking about English, even your mother tongue, you're very fluent at it. You will certainly exhibit a difference in a group. Yeah. So knowing a language is one thing that's directly impacting the thinking process, and knowing many languages wonderfully changes your brain process. You completely, your process changes, improves. You become a multi-person. You are able to think in different angles. Yeah, that we will see, inshallah, in another session, if I'm given, inshallah, in future. How different languages, how does it change me? When I learn another new language fluently, how does it make me change? What kind of a change it's going to bring to me? Yeah, we will say that, inshallah. But one thing I want to tell you now for sure, be the takeaway for today's language is thinking. Thinking is all about our existence. Yeah, that's very, very important. So languages are important. Languages absolutely important. Knowing many languages something which changes you dramatically. Yeah, how and why we will see that, inshallah, in future classes if it is available. And I hope it's 7:30 today. I'm just on time. Just 1 minute. Yeah, so we'll wind up. Jazakallah for Umair having given me the chance to share my thoughts on knowing languages. Jazakallah, sir. I hope I'm winding up my session. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Jazakallah khairan.
Jazakallah, Shamsuddin Saab. Shamsuddin sir is assistant professor, Department of French. So he knows the importance of knowing a language, international language. So nowadays there is craziness to know Chinese language, Russian language, German language, and French. So a lot of students are going for it, and we must encourage also in our classes to our students that they must know languages, which will give them a lift in their future. So thank you very much, Professor Saab. Again, we'll be meeting tomorrow with the two West speakers, 6:30, inshallah, Sunday. With this, the program ends.